The first was for the BBC. That was the first audition I'd ever done professionally before I'd even made that leap. And so I remember I'd set up my camera at home, and I'd found this myself just through an open casting somewhere, never thinking I'd get a response. And I had a script, and I didn't know anything about the story of the characters because they have to keep it so closed. And I remember setting up the camera, and I didn't know where to look. I didn't know if the lighting was right because I hadn't learned any of that yet. I was still in the process. And I watched it back and I thought, okay. And now I watch it back and I go, breathe, relax, just listen to the other character. You know, I think I was too in my own head. I used to have a habit of floating above myself and am I doing this right? Am I not? I don't do that anymore. But when the agency closed earlier this year, I had 20 minutes of thinking, what am I going to do now? And what are these kids going to do? And their parents who aren't in the industry and don't know anything, because my parents didn't either. What are we going to do? If you weren't supposed to do this, you wouldn't have been called to do it. You wouldn't love it. You wouldn't want to do it. It wouldn't be the only thing you can really think of loving and doing in your life. And it's a blessing that you have that. And don't let anyone, extinguish that fire, because it's yours, and that's what counts at the end of the day. If you believe, then people will start following you. It's just a matter of time.
Hey everyone, I am Ajay Tambe, the host and producer of Create Your Ears podcast. And today with me, I have a wonderful artist. She is from UK. Her name is Isla Hughes. And she is kind of, someone who took the challenge and someone who is making sure that she reaches there. But she's taking a lot of people who have no idea what to do. She's taking them on board with her in her journey. And that's really interesting, cool, and really strange and risky at the same time. I don't know how she do all kind of stuff, and at this age where she should be studying in college, but she left the college and she made sure that no, this is my dream, and this kind of awakening that she has inside her, that I know what I'm doing and I'm very sure that I'm going to make it. And I'm also making sure that someone who has no idea but they want to do it, I'm also making sure that they are going to make it. Welcome to the show, Isla Hughes.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Great to have you. It's interesting to have you in the network, and then we got connected. This was going to happen, I guess, 15 days back, but due to some health issues, we got it, I guess, 10 to 15 days. And now we are here and doing this in a very good way. And I guess God is with us that these things are happening.
Absolutely.
Okay. So first of all, before we jump on everything else, what's going on with you now?
Wow, I'm busy auditioning. It's very much a quiet part of the industry at the moment. I think we're still in recovery with the strikes in America and myriad of things over the world that obviously impact a business like ours. So yeah, I'm focusing a lot on my business, on teaching, but also the same everyday things I do as an actor. I like to keep myself dabbling and lots of fingers in lots of pies. So that's what I like to do.
I mean, running an academy and, going with exercise, it's already occupied. You just have to filter out, okay, this is what I'm going to do on Monday and then Tuesday and then Wednesday. So what's today? What was like your week this week of June?
Wow.
It's quiet or it's kind of rush?
It's been a bit of both, really. I've been here, there and everywhere. I've been visiting different people, speaking to a lot of different people, which has been really nice because there are periods of time where I tend to isolate myself in a positive way to focus on my craft and things like that. But it's been nice to get out and speak to people. And I've been having a lot of classes as well with the kids and meeting a lot of their parents, starting to build their plans and their foundations. So it's been a really rewarding week as a teacher, especially.
Great to know that. So you and I have taken a risk at very early age. And I am really excited to know what's going on with you on that part. So before we jump on you in 2024, I'd like to go back to you in when you were in 2006, 2007, I guess, 3-4 year old. What was your life? What was your life looking like at that period?
Well, I always knew this was what I wanted to do. I wanted to perform. It was a very strange thing to be 3 years old and be so clear on what I wanted the rest of my life to look like. And I had very supportive parents. I had a lot of different influences around me, different cultures, different people, always music. And I started training when I was 3. I was in classes. And I still, even then, took it very seriously. It was never just a hobby. And it was
Oh,
my life. And it has been my life, my entire life. I've never really... I sacrificed a lot of socializing and things like that because I
got
wanted
it.
to. It was never my parents'
Ah,
choice. It was mine.
got it, got it. And this is kind of strange, knowing inside you at very early age
Mm.
what, because it's like you at age of 3, you started you got attracted towards musical theater.
Mm.
You got inside that, you started it, and having that kind of awareness is really kind of blessing that you have. So
Absolutely.
how was your childhood like, like regular childhood? How was what was there that, any memories that you have about your childhood?
My childhood was very blessed with the people around me and the family I
Hmm.
had, but it wasn't without struggle either. And I think that is responsible for a lot of my maturity at the age that I have, and also the openness that I have as well, and deeper
Hmm.
understanding of life, even at 21, bordering on 22.
Yeah.
But it was a good childhood again, but it was all theatre. That's all I wanted to do. I really wasn't interested in much else. And I'm very lucky that my family never pushed me to do it, but they supported me wholeheartedly in the fact that I wanted to push myself to do it. So
Yeah, that's
any
good.
chance I had to perform or to practice, to sing, to dance, to act, I'd just take it. And I was
Hmm.
also very lucky that I was academically inclined as well, which is a very nice thing to have both.
Yeah, that's good, that's good. And it's good to hear this kind of stuff from you also. Now, what happened after joining musical theater? How many years you did that?
Oh, I've done that since I was 3. So that would be... I stopped training when I was 18 or 19. So
Whoa,
that's all of my life.
whoa, so you're saying like, I guess 13, 14 years all
Hmm.
musical theater?
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's like it's like every bit. So how the transition happened from, like, were you doing musical theater and then stage drama? Was this the thing with you till before 2019? Like all
Yeah.
everything related to musical theater?
Yeah, musical theatre was definitely my centre, and everything kind of
Mm-hmm.
revolved around that. But I've always had a thirst for knowledge and trying different things
Okay.
and understanding why it works for me or it doesn't. So I did a lot of straight plays. I did a lot of
Okay.
normal theatre as well.
Mm-hmm.
But my first and only 2 experiences of any film work was at a summer school at Italia Conti, which is quite a prestigious drama school in the
Got
UK.
it. Mm-hmm.
And that was my first taste of doing on camera work. And my professor told me as I was leaving, he said, "Do you like being on camera?" I said, "Yeah, I do."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Good, because the camera likes you and you can't teach that." And that kind of
Oh yeah.
planted the seed. But that's really the only taste of film and what that could be for me until I really decided to start looking into that. And then I fell in love with it. So really, it is musical theatre with everything.
Yeah, I guess like I can say 80% of your life
Mm,
is all of musical theater. And
yeah,
yeah, here and there you did some plays, but I guess it was maximum of musical theater. So
absolutely.
when you took the call, so to everyone, I just like to re-mention again, she left her formal education and then took a jump, a big risk of not continuing or having a degree, and making sure that she had that much of self-belief and determination that she's going to make it, because she knew in her heart and she was very clear that this is me, and I don't think I have a future in doing formal education and wasting my time and years. But I think if I made sure that I invested all that time here, I'm going to make it where I can make a living out of this, and to the level that I have no idea, but yeah, I'm going to be there. So when you thought of doing that, there's always a second thought, what if I don't? Or there's
Mm,
always a thought of what if there's a lot of, because once you take that decision, there's negative thought at the same time going in your head,
mm,
because that the transition has not happened. You're in between the transition. You can't
yeah.
see the everything. You can see then what if it doesn't happen, because it hasn't happened yet. It was just where you are just crossing the line. So what was going on?
Yeah, for me, I'm not an impulsive person. I'm
Hmm.
strong-willed, but I'm not impulsive, which is an important factor. I spent about a year, so I was 2 years, bordering on 3, into my formal education, getting a degree in musical theatre, because I was accepted early at 16 to study at university. So I was 18, and for a year, that second year, I kept going back and forth, because I knew that film was something I'd wanted to do. I'd started getting auditions before an agent or anything. I'd started dabbling, really enjoyed it. And as much as I still love musical theatre, I had this gut feeling that I want my career to be in film and keep my love for musical theatre, not separate, but more of a thing that I can come in and out of. But it's the hardest thing. The negative thought in my head was, this is the path that every performer is told to go down. This is from a young age, you're told you're supposed to aim to go and train at drama school, get a degree in musical theatre or performing arts or whatever it is you want to do. And that's how you then go into the world. But I just knew that that wasn't working for me. As much as the training was amazing and I have zero regrets, I didn't waste my time. It was no longer the right path. I could see where I was going and it didn't align with what I knew in my soul I wanted. It wasn't enough. And I didn't think that I would reach my full potential in that way anymore.
Got it. Okay, got it. There was a small glitch, but I get it. So it was kind of tough call. Was there a point where you think, you took that decision, and months later you thought, no, I should have. There's a thought for a month or two. Was there any kind of thing where you thought, I should have done, just like 4-5 years of graduation? Was there anything? Because when the works, when you're getting good work, then there's no problem. But when the gap goes big, that's where the big problem arises. So I guess COVID was involved a bit in your phase where you, before you did anything related to film. So was there any thought where you just went back, I guess I did a mistake? Was there any?
Honestly, no. I've always been taught to live with no regrets. And the way that you do that is by making a choice that you believe in that moment is 100% correct. Even if the consequences don't align, you made a choice for you that was yours, so you can't really regret it. And I don't have any regrets. It was strange and a little, very risky actually, to start my career, to leave formal education, but also to start my career in COVID as it was happening, which is probably the worst time to do that in an industry where we're on set and you can't do anything. But I think the fact that I did that, and that because of that timing, I can handle anything that this career throws at me, and I can handle the quiet moments because I'm so used to. I don't think I've ever actually seen the industry at its full busyness and its full potential because of all the things that have been thrown at us over the last few years. So I'm ready,
Yeah, I guess. And it prepared you for something which is very small now, you think, but another way it would have looked a bigger, something that, oh my God, I'm not getting work. What should I do? What should I do? But starting at the phase where the world was like, okay, everyone is going to die. That was the thing in everyone's head. Like, we are going to die in next few months if we don't have anything. That was the thing. And you survived that. At the same time, you started slowly working. So there's a lot of things related to you being alive and your existence and your family. So when you go through all of this looks very small. Okay, whatever I'm doing, it's going to work out. If not, I have the patience. And yeah, it's good to hear that you take full responsibility. It's your thing. You don't regret, and you don't have it, because once you took the call, then it's all you. And that's great to hear from you. You got a good character inside you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now we jump on transition to film and television. Okay, so now we jump on November 2020. I guess that was the part where I guess the wave was going down a bit. There was people were looking for work and started to work with masks, and I guess very tight plannings and security. But yeah, it was started. So how did the signing with your first talent agent in November 2020 impact your career? How that whole process happened?
Yeah, it was a whirlwind few months, and I hadn't actually left my training yet, my formal education yet. I was trying to set up the foundations of the next step without getting caught out for my formal education, and trying to balance all of it, which I did in the end. It worked out. But I, in the summer before then, I'd actually gotten to the final round for a BBC series as the lead role. And I didn't get it in the end. You never know why. But
Mm-hmm.
that was my first ever audition in the industry.
Wow.
And it was a very surreal experience. It was really, really rewarding and gratifying. I really enjoyed it. But I finally had something that, yes, I didn't get the role, but it shows what I can achieve and my
Yeah.
potential. And so I started shopping around with agents, and I found Elaine Eaglestone at Eaglestone Management, who unfortunately is no longer in the industry.
Okay.
But she was fantastic. And we had a phone call. I remember I was on my lunch break in training,
Okay.
and I was
Okay.
trying to get into my ballet gear for my next dance class. And I snuck away and had a phone call interview where we
Whoa.
chatted. And at the end of the phone call, it was about 20 minutes. Right
Mm-hmm.
before my class was about to start, she said, "Yeah, let's work together." And after that point, I finally, I started booking a couple of jobs the next week, 2 weeks after
Mm-hmm.
that. So I was able to, just go.
Go away. Wow. This is the story of she calling you later and you reaching to the final round. It's kind of interesting,
Mm,
because this happens very rare.
mm,
You reaching there and then okay, there is something I can do. Just hold on. Just hold on.
mm,
I guess there's a lot in this. Wow. Your career in film and television started in 2021.
mm,
What was it like transitioning from 16, 17 years in musical industry? Okay,
mm,
musical theater, not musical industry, musical theater, and
mm,
then you suddenly shift to a camera where everything is on markings and you don't have to move left or right, or the whole thing changes. You don't have to move if there is this, the shot is straight and you the director says like, hey, don't move or don't incline your position or do this and that.
mm.
So how was that transition with you? Was it very easy, or was it, it took time to adjust with the settings?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I like that question because I think it's an ever evolving process. And if you were to ask me
Yeah.
the same question 4 years from now, I'd probably say I didn't even understand how the industry or
Oh.
how to act now because I'm constantly evolving. But
Yeah.
back then, I didn't struggle because I really believed in realism and I've always been a
Mhm.
cinephile. I've loved film. And it was a slow moving process internally. It wasn't so much the acting. I found that I got better at film acting when I understood myself better,
Oh,
because I became at peace with myself. And there's even an
good.
intense scene in films, it's still this kind of meditation within you where you're open, it's openness, and you can only
Mhm.
really be open and vulnerable, which is you have to be when there's a camera right there. You can't hide.
Yeah.
You have to be open to the other actors, to the camera, to the directors, to the set. And the more you understand yourself or you're at peace with yourself, the easier that becomes. So no matter what you're doing, what character you're playing, you're more likely to actually listen.
Yeah.
So that was my process. And I think that only now do I feel I truly understand and feel confident in myself in the last year or so.
Wow. So I guess it was a process of, it was a kind of good transition where
Mm,
you didn't panic a lot. You
no.
didn't oh my god, what's going on? Oh my god, am I doing good or bad?
Mm,
This is too disturbing for me on the first row. But you were like, okay, I'm adjusting, and it's kind of a curve that took place rather than just panic lines happening up and down, up and down. You were
yeah.
slowly transitioning, but yeah, it was a good transition. And yeah, now you are taking a good impact on that. Like, you now understand, okay, this happened and now I'm here and now I'm here, and you're evolving.
Mm,
So you may be changing something inside you every day once you
mm,
understand, okay, I have to do this now, I have to do this. So yeah, that's good. So now we jump on to your films that you did, which was I guess Event.
mhm.
It first one is by the name Event, and then there's LGBTQ plus drama Press on Nails.
Yes.
So how was the experience, working on first film, which was a sci-fi short film, I guess,
Mm,
Event, and
yeah, very
then
much.
Press on Nails, which is award winning, first of all,
Mm,
LGBTQ plus drama. And I saw a few glimpses of you on Instagram when we got connected, and oh, I was like, what? You were uh, yeah, it is award winning
thank
scripting,
you.
and I guess writing and the performance and all.
Mm,
So what was that? So once you transitioned, now we know that you got into this, but what was that whole experience on both the films? You can go ahead one by one.
yeah, so Event is more recently, so we'll start there and we'll work backwards. Event was
Good.
a really interesting one because I really had to dig deep with that character. I'm very analytical with my characters in my process anyway. I really enjoy that part. But my character wasn't a lead character. She was the girlfriend of the lead, but she still was so integral to the plot. And it was very easy, I could see, and me and the director spoke about it at the time, that an audience could very easily just fall into the shallowness of, oh, we just don't like her, because she's not kind at all in the entire film. But I didn't want her to be shallow, because Event very much, even though it's about sci-fi and aliens, the real question that's being posed is, what do you do when your beliefs suddenly change, and how does that change your world around you, your relationships, your internal world, things like that? How does that react, and ripple effect once everything's turned on its axis? And so each character in the film, there were 3 women, they all had this, how would I explain it? They're like on a timeline, and it, depending on who you believe or who you agree with as an audience member, really says a lot about you and your beliefs. And Kate, my character, was so closed-minded, and I'm so the opposite. I'm so open-minded. I love exploring different cultures and religions and speaking to lots of different people.
That's
so
you
open.
as an artist.
Yeah. So suddenly having to close myself off, and I had to, because you can't judge your character, otherwise you don't understand. That was a real challenge, but so satisfying to sit and work through it and meet the other actors, and then finally on set be able to switch in and out. And when I did my big monologue scene, it was heavy and I wasn't there. And I remember the camera cutting the first time and snapping out of it and thinking, okay, I think I've done it. I've done something there, because I wasn't there.
Wow. That's good. It's good to hear, just from you talking now, I am there. I can see that happening. And tell me one thing, someone who is open-minded and someone who is somewhere, open for everything, is kind of talking to you and doing everything, suddenly changing to closed environment or closed window. Is that transition hard? Did it take a lot out of you, or was it easy to, just shut down everything and just focus on, what was it? Because I guess there's two kind of artists. There are extrovert and then introvert. So for introvert to go extrovert, it's kind of hard journey, because it's not in them. And now you are kind of opposite, but I don't know how is that this kind of you is going to shift back to narrowing yourself to a certain belief or certain things and just shutting everything down. So how was this transition for this particular film?
It was
inside you, like how you,
in me
overall.
I didn't know where to start, and it scared me for sure, because how do you suddenly close your ears, especially when acting's all to do with listening and responding? How do you play someone that she's just not able to be affected because of how closed-minded she is by anything that anyone says or that is going on, even the person that she loves? And there's never really anything in the film that says what she does truly believe or why. So the best question I could ask is why, and try and find that within myself. So I did, and I answered some questions. But the thing that really helped me do it was literally to just relax physically, everything, and not look. I never looked at the other actors properly. I never fully allowed myself to acknowledge them, which was very difficult as an actor. It feels really disrespectful, but it worked because I could hear them, but I wasn't processing. And that really worked for Kate. She was very much on a one-track mind. So, yeah, it was a scary process.
So how many days you went through whole of, I guess, filming is a very short period, but the prep is very long. So how many days you spent on this character?
Yeah, well, the thing about Event is that I actually wasn't brought onto the project until much later. I was the last person to get cast. They'd already got all the crew, all of the cast, and I was the last person, maybe about a month before, maybe 2 months before. It might have been a bit more than that. It's all a bit of a blur. But I know that I spent every day for at least 4 hours a day, in and out, going back through the script. What have I missed? Keep asking why, writing everything down, throwing stuff out, walking around trying to figure out how she'd react to things. So I spend a lot of my time in prep, and I enjoy it. Especially, it makes me laugh because you spend so much time on a character like that, and then it's over like that. So
it's like that. Okay, now no more. It's done. Okay, great. So now I forgot which film we were talking
Press
about.
on Nails.
Is there one more? Oh
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
press on
Press on nails.
nails.
Now we focus on the other one.
Yeah.
Event, right? It was
Um,
it was sci-fi drama.
we were talking about event. We're on press on nails now.
Oh yeah, got it.
Yes.
Thank you. So now just shifting down to press on nails.
Mhm.
Tell me about it. Tell me about the whole film and what was your character in
Mm.
brief.
Yeah, so my character was Maeve in Press on Nails, and she was a very sarcastic, edgy, not very nice, but still had some warmth to her character. She was quite
I guess
complicated.
this was easy for you then.
It was.
Yeah.
I have a lot of sarcasm, so yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
This
can
is
be
kind of easy,
witty.
easy to
Yeah, yeah.
maybe a good curve then.
I related to the character in a
Mm,
lot of ways, and I looked very different than I do now. I had black hair and big eyeliner. It was very, very different
oh
visually,
yeah.
totally different. But it was all about this woman who meets a man who wants to pursue being a drag queen, but he's very much in a world and in his life that's not at all supported. And it's not
Mm-hmm,
so much a focus on that choice; it's
mm-hmm.
on two people helping each other make a choice to do something for them and that is going to
Oh.
benefit only them, and shedding other people's opinions and beliefs. So it doesn't really
Mm,
matter. I mean, it's a beautiful film, but it doesn't matter what you believe about the outside of it, the little details. It's the core message of making a choice for yourself, which of course I really relate to. So
uh,
it was a
yeah,
great
it's
film.
you. I guess
Mm,
the character is you, but kind of in power level a bit higher when
mm,
it comes to that. Okay. Well, what I know is you really enjoy what you do. You enjoy that process. You enjoy that
mm,
whole being character, And I guess it started because you spent at least 13 years. I don't know how many dramas that you did. And I guess musical theater, I mean, that there's 10x more prep than what you have in
mm,
the one film.
mm,
You have to be there, you have to remember everything, then you have to make sure that everything falls in one line, then you have to support people around you at the same time, and then you make sure that whole thing makes a sense to an
mm,
audience.
yeah.
It's not the same thing that you do over and over and over again.
Mm,
You make sure that there is something thought coming out every single time where you perform. And I
yeah.
guess that's one thing that really got imbibed inside you now, so that every time you look for something new, I guess you enjoy that whole thing of being like being in press on nails and being in event. I guess both different films, but
Yeah.
when I heard that from you, you enjoyed both the process. You
Mm,
enjoyed that pain also,
mm,
going for even that pain to how should I go inside and what is this, but you took that challenge and it really worked for you. And I guess this is going to be something that going to help you in future projects also, because once you get into this, then you also know, okay, this time I did this and then this. I guess yeah, that's going to help you a lot.
yes.
Now yeah, now here's the thing. We focus on you founding an academy, which is Star Isle Academy.
Mm.
Okay. So, first of all, at this young age, why?
So my first agent, who I was with for years, she had
Mhm.
a kids agency as well, and
Okay.
I taught a lot of the kids there. I ended up taking over for someone else. They had a class. I
Mhm.
taught, and I loved those kids, very talented, and they were all, the majority were represented by the agency or wanted to, and were getting there. And I really
Mhm.
fell in love with that process, which is never something that I thought was on the table, teaching, especially
Wow.
not getting my own academy. But when the agency closed earlier this year, uh,
Okay.
I had 20 minutes of thinking, what am I going to do now? And what are these kids going to do? And their parents who aren't in the industry and don't know anything, because my parents didn't either. What are we
Yeah.
going to do? And 20 minutes later, I came up with a name. I decided that I would start my own academy. I'd make my own luck. I'd take these kids with me and do my best to support them and make the transition easy. And months later, here we are.
Wow. So
Mm,
so thank you first of all for sharing why it started, because there's a lot of things where you get inspired. I never knew about this story.
mm,
Okay, so I guess that agent of you got out of the industry.
mm,
That's the reason that you have to, hey, what should I do of these chickens? I
mm,
need to take care of them. And that's where you build yourself a farm where you can put those there, and you can make
absolutely.
sure that you feed them. And that's
Mm,
that's that it's kind of caretaker, and something that it really shows what you told till now. It shows about your character, and it shows the maturity level that you have,
thank
and since the age of 3, and then it kind of grew, like you feel like like a teacher, like something that it's like I have to take care of this. You
Mm.
have that kind of you,
Yeah.
you can't let that go. That's you. And that's really good. And I guess this is the first time I'm hearing that someone who you like there was a frank decision that okay, this didn't work out, and okay, now something else, I'll find something else to
Mm.
do this. But you took that call and you founded that academy, and I guess uh wow, this is something new, and I guess there's a lot of responsibility. But how did you convince the parents? Like, was there anything?
It was a real risk and very
Yeah,
scary to have to put
to tell them,
myself
yeah, I'm
out
there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and will you believe in me? Will you trust me to take over? Because my agent, she had years and years and years and years of running a business. I've
Yeah.
never run a business in my life. I can teach, but I've never run a business except for my own, which is me. So
Yeah.
being responsible is another thing. And
Yeah.
I organized a meeting, and I emailed everyone. I said, look, there's a meeting at this time at this place. You can all come. Well, it was on Zoom, I think. And I said, you can ask as many
Hmm.
questions as you want. I just want to pitch this idea to you to help your kids and you transition out of not having classes all of a sudden. And so I was
Okay.
hands shaking, written all my notes
Wow.
down, and
Wow.
I delivered it, and instantly everyone said, yeah, we're on board. Like, of course, they just said, I believe in you, we believe in you, the kids love you, we know you're going to do a good job. And so I suddenly
Great.
had already this belief instilled in me from other people. And so I said,
Yeah.
okay then, and we'll do it.
So this is right. You have a good journey, and you
Mm.
kind of going to do something really different, in coming years also. You shivering at the same time. This is next kind of thing happening with you. Uh, so tell me one thing. Uh, okay, I forgot now. I was going to do, but that story really got me. Okay. I guess when I get to know about that, I'll get back on that topic. But yeah, I got it. So who's helping you out? Who's Is there anyone that you got with you now for those kids, or only you at this moment?
At this moment, it's only me, and it has
Are you
only been
looking for
me.
someone?
Um, Not at the moment. I have a cover teacher position that I really would like to fill because I
Hmm.
never want to. I don't like cancelling classes. I don't believe in it if I don't have to.
Oh
But
yeah,
also with my work, I'm a working actor, and that's my career
yeah,
first. And so there will be times where I can't teach, and I need someone else that I trust to
yeah.
deliver. So I'm in the process of that. And I also like to invite industry people in to do workshops with the kids. But in terms of
Workshops
the
with the kids. Yeah.
business, it's me. That's it.
Yeah, I get it. But one thing I'd like to tell you, that you are talented, and with this talent and with this experience, you are going to get work at the time where you are going to have the class. So it's going to get jumbled. Okay, so
Mm,
that's where I'm telling you, as someone who is managing a business.
mm,
Okay, I'm telling you some from my point of view. You are going to get good amount of work, and that's where you're going to mess up with the workshops and all. So
mhm,
try to figure out, you have a team or you have friends who you can trust, and you start building the trust. Once you
mm,
start doing that, you will have them as a backup option, or someone who's got your back. Okay,
exactly.
then it will work, because if I guess with this kind of call that you took with the parents, it's going to go very long. On the
Mm,
long way, you need people who are going to have your back. So try to figure out who is going to be there for you,
absolutely.
who love this kind of thing. And
Mm,
also because once over the years, now in 3-4 years, you're going to get good amount of what I can see.
thank
Just
you.
try to figure out, like, people who can manage
Mm,
kids also, and
yeah,
that's where you can keep on running this business at the same time, because
absolutely.
those kids trust you. And if you are going to cancel on them, you need to find someone who can, who they can trust at the same time,
Exactly.
and you can have a good business even if you are not working.
Mm,
So that's one thing. Try to build someone team, so it will be helpful for you also. Great. Keep on running your academy. I
thank
am
you.
very happy. If I have some time, I'd be visiting in few years. If I have something going on in UK, then I'll be happy to visit the academy. Okay.
Thank you.
Now here's the thing. How do you What is your approach to preparing young actors? No, this is done. I guess the whole story covered this question also. So that's out of the thing. So we are jumping on the auditions. Okay.
Mm,
uh your first audition experience. what did you learn? So what was going on when I guess you have 16 years of experience, but still, tell me about your first audition experience for the film that you're approaching. I guess two of them were you shortlisted, but there's a lot of like the BBC's involved, where you got to the last round.
Yeah.
So tell me about your first one where
Yeah.
you were there, maybe shivering because you do, I guess, a lot in something that you are new in. So tell me about the first.
Yeah, so the first was for the BBC. That was the first audition I'd ever done professionally before I'd even made that leap. And so I remember
Mm-hmm.
I'd set up my camera at home, and I'd found this myself just through an open casting somewhere, never thinking I'd get a response. And I had a
Okay.
script, and I didn't know anything about the story of the characters because they have to keep it so closed. And I remember setting up the camera, and I didn't know where to look. I didn't know if the lighting was right because I hadn't learned any of that
Oh,
yet. I was still in the
oh,
process. It
yeah.
was hard. I mean, I had a tripod and things because I already had that for other projects.
Yeah.
But I
Mm-hmm.
thought, okay, I did some Googling and tried to find as much information as I can, which even a few years ago, there wasn't as much readily available as there
Oh,
is
yeah,
now.
yeah, that's true.
But I made it work, and I've still got copies of every round of that audition process. And I watched it back, and I thought, okay. And now I watch it back, and I go, breathe, relax, just listen to the other character. I think I was too in my own head. I used to have a habit of floating above myself, and am I doing this right? Am I not? I don't do that anymore because it takes you out of it. But I remember being terrified and yet so excited that I was finally getting to do something that I really, really
You
wanted to do, and been so scared to pursue, and yet I was getting this opportunity anyway, but even though I had no
Yeah.
training in film. And I just remember looking at myself and thinking, I'm not good yet. I'm not great yet, but I've got something.
Okay. But here's the thing. You went for 4 rounds, right? So first, second, third. I mean, that is great. People who don't even clear first round should be worried. You cleared the first round, then second round. But the one thing that you were very concerned about, like where's the angle, where should I look? That was the only thing that was going on inside you. But I guess one thing was very, very clear with you that you cleared it. So till the time first, second, third, what was going on? The last one
So
was like something different, but I guess first, second, third, were you excited? Were you nervous? Were you thinking like, okay, I am the great? What was that?
there was a lot of waiting, which there still is. There always is. There's a long
Yeah.
period of waiting. You could wait a year if something happens in production and they pause the auditions and no one knows. But I waited, I remember, about 3 weeks, and I thought, okay, I didn't get it. Of course I didn't. Like, I'm not going to go to the next round because I'm fresh. I don't know anything yet. It's not my time. And
Yeah.
I remember, I think I was in the kitchen. I was doing something really mundane and really not paying attention to the world around me. And my phone goes off, and I pick it up, and I think, I've let go of the opportunity at this point. And it says, okay, here's all of the information. Here's the actual script that we've given you. And now you get to really see some information about the character. Please have it in next week. I just thought, how is this happening? How is this happening? Which was great.
Yeah. which was actually, so I guess this happened to you first, second, third, 3 times, right? Where you thought, okay, I guess I'm not there, and then you got it. So fourth time, the last one, I guess it was more basically maybe the look test, I guess, I don't know, but it was maybe the character adjustment depending on that. So what went through your head at that point where you cleared 3 rounds, and then the fourth one where, I don't know, I guess you got the same call? What was that?
Yeah, so that final round, I'd become comfortable in myself and thinking, because I think you have to believe in yourself. I thought, okay, I believe in my talent. Clearly I'm talented. It's just whether I'm right or not. And that was at the start. And I think it's really important with rejection to not take it personally, because it isn't. And it's never about your talent, especially if you get 2 or 3 rounds forward. It's never to do with talent. And I remember getting an email, the last email I ever got, and I was walking down the street somewhere. It was a really nice day, so that was a good thing as well. They said, the producers really loved you, and as a casting director, I did advocate for you. We just think you're too young. Because I was actually auditioning for a character even then who was 25. You know, she
Yeah.
25 to early 30s they were looking at, but they lowered it for me in the last few rounds. At least that's what I was told.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised. And I just carried on with my day, and I said thank you, and
But
that was
it
it.
was good.
Yeah.
It was good, you know. There's one thing that comes with time, which
Mm,
is where you, I guess, in both the films you played character which is, I guess, 4 or 5 years older than you. I
mm,
guess 4 or 5 years older than you throughout the film that you did, two
yeah.
films. And there's something that comes with time. You have to give yourself to go 21, 22, 23, 24. And it comes with time and
Mm,
experience, that once you go on that fourth round, you look certain way
mm,
and you think certain way and you come up
mm,
with an experience of 3 4 years just by doing this. So I guess all there's something with the way that they are looking for, which will come in 3 4 years. So I guess that's the whole thing that is getting calculated when they go on the final call.
mm.
That may be the thing. But it's great to hear that the first audition that you did, you cleared 3 rounds, and the fourth round was just their call, what the BBC wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to hear. I guess this was the memorable audition that you had, right?
Yeah. Very.
Yeah. Yep. So imagine someone who's like you in the
Mm,
19, 20, 21 now, and who's looking to do auditions, even someone who is 25, 30, 40,
mm,
but they're starting out. There's a lot of actors who start late,
mm.
somewhere around 30, 40, 50. What kind of advice you'd like to give, and what kind of tips that you'd like to give them for audition?
Wow. Great question. Listen is my biggest one. Listen, listen, listen. I think stop trying to do things. Stop trying to make things happen when you're in an
Hmm.
audition. Stop trying and just exist. Allow yourself to exist as you and do the
Hmm.
scene as you want to do it, and stop projecting and trying to understand and change yourself based on what you think someone else wants, because they're not interested in that. They're interested in you. And an audition is, it's not just that job. The audition is our job. If we get to
Yeah.
do the work and play the character, that's just a bit of fun. Our job is to audition, and every time you go to an audition, whether you get recalled, whether you get the role, whether you don't, you have an opportunity to plant a seed that could grow into some magnificent fruit 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, a month down the line. It's
Yeah.
so much a bigger opportunity if you see it that way, instead of just obsessing over what do they want, what do you want.
Yeah. Well, that's really good advice. In less than 60 seconds, you can get to everyone who's listening, to all the actors who was looking, who, and specifically to people who are looking to get into acting. This is kind of
Mm,
advice you can get, and something with experience. Thank you, Ayla. Thank you for sharing this,
mm,
particularly through your experiences. Uh, so what I guess now, here's the thing. There's two different things that you do. There's one prep for musical theater over
mm.
the years. So now talking less about the film, tell me about how you used to prepare for musical theater, where you used to prepare for a role. What was the
Mm.
characterization? How you used to develop it? What kind of work you used to do on the character when you were performing in the musical theater?
Yeah, with musical theatre, I feel like I spent a lot more time on the words. The order of which I prepare is different. So I'd
Hmm.
focus on the words first instead of the character, and just try to learn them without
Okay.
adding any emotion, just get it out the way so that it's in my body. Because with musical theatre, you're having to, rehearse the scenes as an actor, you're having to learn all of the songs and dance at the same
Yeah.
time. That's so
Yeah.
much at once. And you really only get 6 weeks to prepare for a musical theatre show. So it's a lot in a very short space of time.
Yeah.
So it really was just get in, get out, get in, get out. And luckily I have a photographic memory, so it was a bit easier to do.
Yeah.
But I focused mainly on
And
the
the words.
singing as well, the music, because
Mm-hmm.
music is so important and so powerful, especially for me. And I find it a lot easier with musical theatre to find a way into the character through what they're singing, because the whole premise of musical theatre is that they only sing when an emotion or a thought is so big that they can't possibly just use words anymore. They have to sing
Oh,
about it.
yeah.
So that's my way in, really, is through the music.
It's through the music. First, you make sure that the words are inside you proper,
Mm.
and then make sure that give the elevation or the curves through the words and through the singing, I guess. Is there like loud personality coming out, expressing everything with hands, and was that a big practice that you had to do every time just to perform in a certain way, or was that something that you got it inside you? What was that like, prepping for that whole performance with song, with the words, and then showcasing that whole thing, that performance? What was that once you were on stage?
I always remember throughout my childhood people coming up to my parents and saying, she has stage presence and you can't teach that. And that is just the ability to be seen on stage and
Yeah.
to naturally, express that way that is needed. And that's why I'm very hand gestury in life anyway, I think, is I'm very expressive.
Yeah.
But it was never anything that I struggled with. I was never small on stage. If anything, I needed to be told to rein it in because it wasn't about me all the time. Which I never did it on purpose, but
Oh,
I'd always try and squeeze
okay.
my way to the front.
Oh, wow, that's every actor's thing,
Mm,
that's what every actor do. They need the attention. Okay.
mm,
But here's the thing, that's I guess that's the best part of you, over having stage presence, having the presence, even you're shooting, having that, your whole thing, where you are not feeling the pressure, or "Oh, what if this goes wrong?" That's not
mm,
with you. You were there, and I guess that's helping other supporting actor also at the same time, because your presence, once you are there, you are trying to figure out everything looks good, and
mm,
that's where you focus on the supporting characters. That's how you make sure that everything looks good. uh, well uh, now tell me, what is the difference now when you prepare for a film? Is there anything different when you get a character? What do you do?
mm. I write so much. I've really
Okay.
gone a lot into analysis more than ever. But the strangest thing I do, because when I was learning this technique at drama school, I hated it and I didn't
Mhm.
believe in it at all. It didn't work for me.
Okay.
But now it works really well, is connecting your character to what animal they would be. And
Oh, yeah,
then,
I know that. I know that.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
wow, wow.
And then you act out the animal to its like 100% extreme. And then you bring it
Okay.
back until there's
Oh,
just a
wow.
little thing there of the animal that only you will probably notice unless
Mhm.
you've told someone.
Yeah.
And it's a really weird
Yeah.
technique, but it's really been working for me on characters. I tend to get
Mhm.
auditioned for characters that are very complex and
Yeah.
layered and a little bit
Mhm.
twisted sometimes. So it really helps to kind of animalize them and then bring it
Good.
back down. So that's my new thing that I'm doing that I've never
Wow,
done before.
I can relate to those days where you have no idea. You're just moving around your hands and legs, and you're trying to be that animal. But the whole thing is different. You have to
Yeah.
be that character that animal
Mm,
is. The way he thinks, the way he walks.
mm,
Why is he doing that? That's the reason they say if you try to get that animal, then you can be here. But we all,
mm,
the first day, everything, like, we try to enact that whole performance of that. So I guess I can relate to that, and
mm,
it's great to hear that you now feel okay. That's the power that's
mm.
really helping me out in new characters also. So
Yeah.
that's great. That's great to know. Now here's the thing. Throughout this whole 24 hours, how is the work life balance for you? For example, you come from shoot and you're all drained out, and then you have to make sure that you are there for the kids, just helping
Mm,
them out with their classes, or there's something with your family. When we talked for the first time, that's where I guess your grandma had something,
mm,
and you completely shut down whatever you're doing, and you
mm,
are someone who's committed to what you do, but you have to take that call. So
mm,
how is the work life balance with you personally? Meditation, spending time with family, then giving time to kids that you take classes of.
mm.
How you manage that whole work life balance?
Yeah, I don't think I'm very good at it, and I really wish that more people would admit that they're not good at it, especially in my
Mhm.
industry. I'm very work orientated, and especially now that I not only have my career to think about, I'm also responsible for the next generation's, careers, the people that I teach. I really help them with the
Yeah.
business side, not just the acting side. So that really does constantly take up my mind, and I really find it hard
Yeah.
to relax and to switch off because I enjoy it so much. My hobby is the
Mm,
exact same thing that my career is. So
that you
where do you
do.
draw the line? But my
Yeah.
family will always be over everything. The people I love I will drop everything for them, because I think that that's one of the most important things in the world is the people around you that you're connected to, that have supported you and that have your back. You've got to have theirs.
Yeah, got it. And that's really good quality that you have as a person, as a human. Because there's a time where we get involved in our work so much that we have no time to think of someone else, because that's the industry we are in. But to have that, something that inside you to make sure, no, this is really important for me, and no matter what comes in, I'm going to make sure that I'm there for them. Only the important ones I'm talking about, but you're there for them. And I guess that's one thing that keeps going on. Maybe something that is going to build inside you, so you teach to someone else and people see that inside you and they follow. But this is a really great quality that you have.
Thank
And I
you.
guess work-life balance, I guess you're loving what you're doing, but there will be time where everything is going to mess up, and that's where you need something. Okay, I need to shut down, I need to meditate, because there's going to be a lot of work, and that's where you need something to, okay, I need to breathe.
Yeah.
And even though the thing that you're loving is going to be a hectic thing with time, not now, you're loving it because, but whatever you're loving, for people who are watching us, it's entertainment, but for us it's work. And that's the difference that's going to show up with time. And if that doesn't, then you are really blessed. So that's good. Okay, we now jump on to rapid fire. So, favorite film to watch for inspiration?
All That Jazz by Bob Fosse.
Great. I haven't heard about this, but I'll make sure I look at it. Okay. Role model in acting?
Carla Gugino.
Great. Preferred method, rehearsals or improv?
Rehearsals.
Great. Most useful acting tip?
Listen.
Oh, wow. Favorite character you've played?
Maeve in Press on Nails.
Great. A bit about that character?
She's just so feisty, but also so lovable at the same time. She's just, yummy to play.
Wow. Biggest career influence?
My dad.
Tell me about your dad, like how he helped you out.
My dad has always been my number one supporter in so many ways, but mostly in keeping me grounded. He has always put an importance on having an apprenticeship as an actor, not necessarily training, but slow down. I could have been a child actor, and he made sure I wasn't, because I needed to take it slow and build a foundation, because I'm in it for a long career, not just a successful one.
Great thing. That's the great thing that he gave, as a teaching, and make sure you are very protected and you know the world before you enter it.
Exactly.
That's really good. Great to know that. Go to warm up routine for you.
Music and dancing.
Oh, I guess that's you are from last 15 years. Best acting book you've read?
Sanford Meisner on acting. It's his full class.
Meisner technique.
Yeah.
Cool. Favorite on-set snack?
Ooh, watermelon.
Watermelon. Wow. So I guess that's it. I thought this is going to take a long, and you realized we have completed an hour in this. Whoa. I just saw there. I thought we are going to finish. I thought these are very less questions, but we actually did complete it. 61 minutes now in the
Yeah.
session.
Wow.
I never realized. This was fast. It really went fast. So first of all, Ayla, thank you so much for answering this, and thank you so much for telling me about your dad, because I guess that part where you told me you could have been child actress, but he made sure that really tells more about your character now, because when you look back at you at 15 16 years of experience plus now in acting, it's going to shape you up to the level where soon you're going to be on BBC. than on international dramas, something like CBS, something like Netflix, Prime, Hulu. You are going to be there because the prep that I see and the way that you born and brought up is going to lead you there anyhow. This is very rare that I see in anyone, because most of them I interview who are starting out, or someone who are established, or someone in the middle of the process, and we come to know that, okay, how are they going to reach? Are they really good at it? Or what is the year, or how many years I think they can do it or make it in that? Are they getting right connections? Because we can just get to know when they tell about themselves, like how they think, they talk, they see, and what's going on in their life. Having the personal life settled up and having the personal life in balance is really important in our career as an actor, as an artist, because there's a lot of people who start out but their personal lives get messing up, and they stay away from what they are looking to do and love to do. So you carry on, you're really hardworking, and everything is working out for you, so don't take
Thank
that for
you.
granted. Make
Thank
sure you
you.
work more hard, and like if there is any film, I'll be happy to interview when once your film comes out. You share
Brilliant.
your poster and we'd be there for you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So yep. It was really great. I haven't even noticed the time and the clock. We completed over an hour. You're just really good at what you do.
Thank
Even
you.
when you're talking to me, you were so involved and so enjoying to talking that I was continuously listening to, okay, she's going there. I need to pick that point. I need to pick that point. And that's how the whole thing rolled up. Okay.
Mm,
So someone like you, Isla, aware, who hasn't invested that much of time in acting,
mm,
who hasn't invested something of 15 years of their starting life in acting, but they are just starting out, or someone
mm,
who is looking to be someone like
mm,
be in just getting performance thing, just want to be on stage, just want to be a part of a drama club. There are people
mm.
who are at your stage, at your age, who are looking to just be a part of drama or just be a
Yeah.
part of a film set. And someone who's looking to be where you are now. Okay.
Mm,
Someone like you who started really young is continuously developing, is working on, is taking care of kids and taking care of that biggest risk of their parents trusting you, at the
mm,
same time managing everything, and then being here and talking to me very freely, and hey, everything is good and fine, and I'm enjoying, and you are really enjoying.
mm,
What advice you'd be offering to the people who, or to the artists, or to young artists, actor, actresses, who are lost and have no faith if their thing is going to work out, but they are still showing up? Maybe they are in the phase where things are not working out for them, but they are still showing up. What advice you'd like to give to someone who's just starting out? What advice you'd like to give to the people who are your fellow mates, looking up to you? What
mm.
would you say?
If you weren't supposed to do this, you wouldn't have been called to do it. You wouldn't love it. You wouldn't want to do it. It wouldn't be the only thing you can really think of loving and doing in your life. And it's a blessing that you have that. And don't let anyone, extinguish that fire, because it's yours and that's what counts at the end of the day. If you believe, then people will start following you. It's just a matter of time.
Great to know. Someone who is at very young age giving this advice is really cool. What would you say to someone who's just starting out, who had no idea of what acting is? What you'd like to say to those guys?
Watch and read and listen. Be a sponge. Absorb as much as you can. Figure out what you love. Figure out what you don't like as well, which is so important. And then find more of that. And if you stay present in the moment and just follow the things that intrigue you and interest you and try lots of different things out, just explore, suddenly you'll look up and actually you know a lot more than you did when you just started, and things will start to fall into place. It's about building an opinion and building yourself and an understanding of yourself, and then eventually what do you want to do with that.
Great. Thank you so much, Shaila. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you, first of all, to God that we did work out this on 10th of June. It was about to schedule like 15 days back,
Mm.
and then once we met, I hope your grandma is okay.
Yeah.
She great, great, and I hope that she have good health throughout the
Mm.
time.
Thank
Uh,
you.
it was a time where I thought this is not going to work out.
Mm.
I guess because that was the first time that we met, and
Mm.
it was like on the day, half an hour, 1 hour before, she says, "Hey, this is not
It
going to
was
happen."
awful. So
And
bad.
and she is saying like, "Hey, I haven't done this kind of thing before. I'm really sorry, but we
Mm.
can't do this now." And I was like, "Okay, but no problem. Let me know when we can." And then she said, "Hey, okay, we can do on this date." And then I got sick, and then it extended more. So
Mm.
I'm really happy it worked out well, and
Me too.
I really enjoyed talking to you, knowing
Me
about
too.
you. Uh, Thank you for showing up today, and thank you for telling everything about everything.
Thanks for
Even
having
even
me.
the, yeah, even the smallest thing, even the thing that was inside you running, and then you told me everything where you could get into details, and telling everything is going to help a lot of young artists, people who
I
are
hope
going to
so.
listen to this. Every single artist, even if he or she is a musician or a painter or a writer or a director or just starting out, this thing that you told, your journey is going to help a lot of people. Thank you so much, Ala.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And I really hope whoever listens finds a piece of them within it.
Thank you so much. Hey everyone, I am Ajay Tambe, the host and producer of this show, and this is the first time I haven't realized that we actually passed the whole session. But now it's time to sign off. Thank you.